you tell a bedtime story, they always start off with the same line at the beginning, right? Once upon a time. Geez, what a smart bunch we got here tonight. Yes, indeed. Well, here's how the story goes. It's about, first of all, it's about 3 little rabbits. Who doesn't like those furry little bunnies, eh? Yes. Well, once upon a time, there were 3 little rabbits. And the first little rabbit's name was Foot. And the second little rabbit's name was Foot. And the third little rabbit's name was Foot. So one day, Foot, and Foot were fooling around frantically out in the garden. And all of a sudden, Foot come up to Foot and says, Foot, and Foot said to Foot, yes, Foot. He says, Foot, he says, I'm not feeling very well. And Foot says to Foot, you're not feeling very well, what's the matter? He said, well, I'm sick. He says, you're sick? He says, yes, I am. He said, what seems to be the problem? He said, I got into a bad carrot. So Foot says to Foot, well, Foot, I'll tell you what. You sit right here, and I'll go tell Foot. So Foot went to Foot, and said, Foot, and Foot says, Foot, yes, Foot. Foot told me to come and tell you that he's not feeling very well. He's not feeling very well, says Foot. That's right, said Foot. Oh, it seems to be the problem, says Foot. Well, you see, Foot says, he's not feeling well because he's sick. He's sick! Yes, he's sick. Oh, what seems to be the problem? Well, he got himself into a bad carrot. Oh, well, he said, I'll tell you what, Foot. You go back and tell Foot to lay down for about a half an hour or so, and I'm sure he'll feel much better. So Foot went back to Foot and says, Foot. And Foot said to Foot, yes, Foot. Foot told me to tell you to lay down for about a half an hour and you're going to feel a little bit better. He says, well, okay. So he lay down for about a half an hour. Half an hour passed and he come back to Foot and says, Foot. And Foot said to Foot, yes, Foot. I'm still not feeling better. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling a mite worse. You're feeling a mite worse. He says, that's what I said. He said, well, I'll tell you what. Stay right here and I'll go tell Foot. So Foot went off to Foot and said, Foot. And Foot says, Foot. Yes, Foot. He says, Foot told me to come and tell you he's still not feeling any better. And as a matter of fact, he's feeling a mite worse. And Foot says to Foot, well, you go back and tell Foot to lay down a little bit longer. The half an hour might not have been long enough. And he said, if that doesn't work, we'll just call the foot doctor. So Foot went back to Foot and says, Foot. And Foot says to Foot, yes, Foot. He says, Foot. He says, Foot told me to tell you to lay down a little longer, and I'm sure you're going to feel better. So Foot says, okay. So he lay down. About an hour went by. 2 hours. 3 hours. Nothing. So Foot was getting a little concerned. So Foot went and checked on Foot. He says, Foot. Nothing. Foot. Nothing again. He says, Foot. And he gave him a good boot. Nothing. He gave him a shook. Nothing again. He says, my God, Foot's dead. Yes, he died. So Foot's all in a frantic. He runs up to Foot and says, Foot. I got some terrible, I got some real bad news to tell you. And Foot says to Foot, what's that, Foot? And Foot says to Foot, Foot's dead. Foot's dead. He says, what I said, he's dead. What happened? He says, I don't know. He says, I shook him, but he's just dead. And that's not all. I'm not feeling any good either. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling quite terrible. And Foot turns to Foot and says, well, Foot, whatever you do, don't you lay down. We already got 1 foot in the grave. All right. I know. Those true stories will do that to you.